What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. MTG here with another episode. If you're new to the channel, hi there. So I have two phones, and I mean, other than the color, honestly, can you tell me which one is which? I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. Well, I think that's enough time. Samsung Galaxy S23 versus S22 Ultra. Let's spot the differences. Let's compare the two and see if it's worth upgrading from this right here, the S22, to the Galaxy S23 Ultra. So let's dive right in. Okay, so starting off with design. I think this is the easiest part of recording this video and talking about these two devices because, well, it's really similar in design. Other than, and actually I'm just gonna spot the differences, and that's really it's same boxy design, although the sides of the Galaxy S23 Ultra are more squared off than rounded, so it's easier to hold, and actually it feels better to hold in the hand, in my personal opinion. Next up is actually the actual color. So it's still green, but it's like a more toned out kind of green. I'm actually really liking this color. That's thanks for you guys for voting on which color I should pick up and review on the channel. So thank you all. And the third big difference here is the camera rings. They're much larger on the Galaxy S23 Ultra when compared to the Galaxy S22 Ultra, and also a 200 megapixel camera. Like physically wise, it has a larger camera versus the 108 on the Galaxy S22 Ultra. We're gonna get into cameras in a little bit. And then one last thing is going to be the curve is less curved. The screen is less curved, and I don't know how well I can show this on camera, but the screen is less curved on the S23 Ultra, ever so slightly, but you can tell the difference. And with those cameras, the camera rings being a little bit larger too, it definitely does rock a little bit more on tables. Like, it's more distinct, and it feels higher off the table or the ground, wherever you're kind of putting it. But other than that, display wise, pretty much the same. We're going to upgrade or downgrade camera resolution, but upgrade in the quality or megapixel resolution, not camera, but megapixel resolution with the front-facing camera on the S23 Ultra. But resolution-wise of the screen itself, we're still getting a 120 hertz LTPO AMOLED display, and it does work with either 1080p or 1440p. I have not yet changed the resolution to 1440p. I actually might do so after this video. Why? Because I want to try it out. I'll try out the battery life with 1080p, so I actually might just leave it on for the time being, try it out, and then after I give you guys my full review on the S23 Ultra with the battery, then I'll probably switch to Quad HD. Nonetheless, everything else, like when you look at it from the front, it looks pretty much the same, right? And if you want to check out my latest wallpaper pack that I officially launched with the release of the Galaxy S23 series, it's called Nebula. I'll be leaving a link in the description down below. You're getting 10 awesome different wallpapers in this wallpaper pack. I absolutely love them. Check them out, and thank you all for supporting the channel. Let's move on to performance. So with the performance on both of these devices, first of all, they're great. Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 on the Galaxy S22 Ultra and Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. Made for Galaxy. I guess they're overclocking some speeds on the Galaxy S23 Ultra, but that's fine. Both of these models that I have are 12 gigs of RAM. However, the storage is 256 gigs for the S22 Ultra and 512 gigs for the Galaxy S23 Ultra. And overall performance has been great on both, but I feel as if the S23 Ultra is ever so slightly snappier and smoother, especially when I'm watching lots of YouTube videos, which I do all the time, and playing my favorite mobile game, which is Call of Duty. I just like how this fits so well in the hand. I get to play my favorite game on such a great screen with just great quality everything. So that's a huge plus. Software-wise, we're getting Android 13 on both as of right now, 4 years of software updates. However, since this released with Android 12, well, Android 13 was already one, so we're getting 3 years more, and Android 13 released on the S23 Ultra, so we're getting 14, 15, 16, and 17 on the Galaxy S23 Ultra, and Samsung has been on a roll with software updates as of late. Now, we also have Android 5.1 shipped out of the box with the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Android 5.1. Okay, good thing I called myself One UI 5.1. It's Samsung's skin on top of Android, and I think it's one of the most cleanest skins. Samsung's TouchWiz UI back in the day, for those who remember, was just really terrifying, but they have done a great job and cleaned it up really well. And 5.1 is rolling out on the Galaxy S22 series. I have not yet received mine yet. Hopefully I do. I wish it was for this video, but it's not, so we'll be getting that soon. But overall, like general performance, software performance has also been great. And the question is like, should I upgrade to the S23 Ultra because it just has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2? No, you're still going to get great performance and great results with the S22 Ultra, but just know that if you do pick up the S23 Ultra over its predecessor, it's going to perform better. It's not like a huge update or upgrade. It's incremental, and that's what we're getting year over year, incremental upgrades. And I feel like we've hit a peak of smartphones where we're just doing incremental upgrades year over year because smartphones have just gotten so good. But overall, I'm really happy with both in the performance and the software department. So I don't really have much to say. Now let's move on to cameras. So the biggest thing here is going to be the upgrade to a 200 megapixel camera on the Galaxy S23 Ultra right here versus the 108 megapixel on the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. I'll be sharing some images on screen. Now, definitely some huge upgrades. I know there's a lot of upgrades in the video department with stabilization as well. But for those who are subscribed to the channel, I'm trying to use smartphone cameras a little bit more and test them out a little bit more. But for the most part, it's not one of the apps that I use the most often, but when I do need it, it's there. And I can tell you that the quality, the camera, the photo quality on the S23 Ultra has really surprised me. And I think I'll be carrying this for the time being. I mean, I'm going to be using it as my main device, but I will be using this as my camera to go over my iPhone 14 Pro Max, and a video about that comparison will be coming very soon to the channel as well. Now, also question here is, hey, I have the S22 Ultra, should I upgrade because it has a 200 megapixel camera? No, because when you get out of the box, it's already being pixel bin. You're gonna want to have to go into settings and then kind of change it to 200 megapixels. And the quality is really, really good. However, I mean, it does take an extra second to load, so there's that shutter speed. And I think you're only going to be using 200 megapixel mode if you want to take something like with a lot of detail that's kind of far out and you want to zoom in. Otherwise, if you're going to take a quick photo of something, you probably just want to keep it to its normal default mode. There also is a 50 megapixel mode if you want to use that as well. And the same thing goes for the Galaxy S22 Ultra. It's default and you can change it to 108 megapixel. But again, that does take just a slight second longer. The shutter speed is just a little bit slower. And I've noticed that the shutter speed itself is not like the fastest in any like smartphone when you compare with other smartphones. So there's a slight lag. But if you're going to be, nitpicking about pixels, zooming in, and you want to take a really quality photo, that's when you go into using its 200 megapixel mode. Other than that, I still think that the normal photo qualities you get out of its default mode is still really good, but it's definitely not a reason to upgrade. Okay, let's move on to the battery life with both of these devices. They both come with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. They both have 45 watts of wired charging, and they also have wireless charging. So the charging speeds didn't really change with the S23 Ultra, but this does feel a little bit thicker and heavier, but the same battery capacity. And I can tell you that it's been lasting me much longer than the Galaxy S22 Ultra. I've been getting around 5 hours of screen on time. And with the Galaxy S23 Ultra, I have reached 7 hours of screen on time. I did end up charging it. As you can see, both of these are still like at 73 and 76. And I did end up charging them again for the purpose of this video. But I can tell you that S23 Ultra battery is much more reliable. It doesn't get as hot either. When I'm watching a lot of videos or when I'm consistently switching from app to app, I would notice that the S22 Ultra would get hot to the touch when I'm playing Call of Duty. Like after like 1 or 2 games, it would get a little bit warm to the touch where I would be like, you know, let me just wait for it to cool down. Or if I'm consistently switching from like YouTube to Twitter back to Google Chrome, it would get a little bit warm to the touch. It wouldn't have any hiccups, but it would get warm. This does, I guess there's new vapor cooling chamber with the S23 Ultra. It hasn't gotten warm to the touch at all. And since it's still fairly new, I've been using it more for testing, for camera and for video, and it still has kept this cool. Good one, it still has kept its cool. I can safely say the battery is much better, much more efficient, especially with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 on the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Again, I'm going to ask the question, or for those who do have that question, is it worth upgrading from the S22 Ultra to the S23 Ultra for just its battery? No, it's definitely not. However, I have seen some people who have the S22 Ultra that did upgrade to the S23 Ultra, and that's going to lead me into price. The main reason why those who did upgrade from the S22 Ultra to the S23 Ultra is the price. Now, they're both $11.99 at the time of release, and that's not bad. It's good pricing. Why? Because S23 Ultra in other countries, the price has increased from its predecessor. But in the US, it still stayed at $11.99. And if you did pre-order, and I'll be leaving links in the description down below. If you're watching this after pre-order period, I still have links to the S23 Ultra down below. If you did pre-order, you get a free storage upgrade to 512 gigs, which I kind of took advantage of, and now I have a 512 gig phone with 12 gigs of RAM, so that's a plus. And during the pre-order period with the S22 Ultra, you had a free storage upgrade from 128 gigs to 256 gigs, whereas the base model for the S23 Ultra is 256 gigs, $11.99, and it has the other upgrades. Now the main thing, again, I said why people upgrade from the S22 to the S23 is the price. Yes, either you're getting really good trade-in deals, really good carrier deals, and that's really it. For those who I have spoken with that are upgrading, they mainly upgraded because of their carrier deals. That's right. Their carrier deals kind of push them. They're getting really good trade-in or just some good offer that's saying, hey, upgrade to the S23 Ultra. You're going to be paying not $1,100, not $1,200, but $200, $300. And for that, I would say, yeah, at that point, you're getting a better phone with a better camera. You're already used to the design, more boxier. It's going to feel really good in the hand. Better camera, better battery life, toned out design. It's more powerful, more efficient, snappier too. Then yeah, I would pay that extra $200-300. And I've seen the same thing with the Galaxy S23 and S22. I have a friend who upgraded from the S22 to the S23. His carrier deal with T-Mobile was so good that he got a trade-in deal for his S22, $800, and the S23 itself is $800. So essentially, he kind of paid out that phone, the S23, and he's going to be getting overall just a better package in a phone that he's used to. So in that case, yes, I would upgrade, but Normally I wouldn't. Are these priced well? Yes and no. I still think $1,200, even in this day and age, $1,200 is a lot for a phone. We shouldn't get used to these prices. I do think we can drop down the prices some more. $1,200 is still a lot for a phone. I remember when phones back in the day, 2014, 2015, 2013, was $600, $650. And even then, I would say to myself, I was much younger, but I would still say to myself that those are expensive phones too. But then I would also tell myself afterwards, one day I'm gonna buy those $650 phones and review them. And now here I am. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel, reviewing these phones that are almost twice the cost of what I said I would be reviewing. So thank you all so much for supporting the channel. But overall, my final thoughts, great devices, but also a good incremental upgrade in a good way. Samsung went and put in upgrades in the right spots, like a good camera upgrade, good design. It's more toned out, feels better in the hand. Upgrade. Display is about the same, but processing, faster speeds, software-wise, they upgraded in there internally. Samsung did a good job. At this point, they've proven that we don't need a new design every single year, and that's really it. We don't need a new design every single year, at least in my opinion. Some do look for a new design and something radically different every single year, but I don't. As long as I get these improvements that are going to help my productivity, help make it easier, then yes, I'm all about using my phone for everything. So productivity, the speed, and having good battery are two things that I look for: good speeds and good battery, and I'm getting a good camera. Well, this is a good upgrade for me, and it looks like 2023 there's going to be a lot of competitors and a lot of phones competing against this. This already has it's going to be in my pocket for a long time. I can't wait to see what else good phones we get in 2023. But that's really been it with this comparison. I definitely obviously choose S23 over the S22 Ultra. Okay, so should you upgrade if you have S22 Ultra overall? No, you shouldn't, unless one, you want to. I mean, if you want to, then yes, you're going to upgrade anyway. Or two, if you come across a good trade-in deal or carrier deal, like $200-300 for the new S23 Ultra by trading in your predecessor, and then you say I want to, then that's kind of like a good upgrade. But other than that, this phone will still last you really well in 2023. That's why we have incremental upgrades, because they're going to last you for a long time. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to smash the like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video because it really does help out the channel a lot. Will help push my content out to more people. Anyway, that's been it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.